But here we go, we're jumping into game number 2. As we did mention, SHIN is leading the series 1-0, and can SHIN bring Clem down? Again, SHIN did recently defeat Beyond in the grand finals of the Orsasaurus Cup last week, so his ZVT has been on point, but he's also a very chaotic player, and here we go, we're jumping in. Take it away.
To game number 2 of this best of 3 semifinals, where we're here in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Dynasty. We, of course, have our red Terran player coming out from the land of France. We have our reigning world champion himself representing Team Liquid. Everyone get Clem for Clem.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, he keeps doing this. I'm never quite convinced. But we're loading into Dynasty, and he's going for the gold. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators, leading the series 1-0. It is SHIN.
Grabbing that gold base.
He does grab the gold. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. We're jumping in mid-series, and SHIN already has a lead, but it wouldn't be surprising to see Clem bring it to the ace match as well. So best of luck with your predictions, best of luck with your gamba. And Yaku, SHIN, we've been casting a lot of him over the past week, over the past 2 weeks, and he has been consistently not vetoing this map in this matchup. He's like the only Zerg player that lets this map through in a best of 3. It's crazy.
I mean, that's why SHIN is the most big brain of the Zerg players out there. That's why SHIN is just a complete agent of chaos.
He really is, and I still don't understand why. Even though he has been embracing this map, he still has a really hard time taking games. It's just so much working against him. But you know, that surprise factor is definitely an asset that he can use, as he is taking the gold base on the other side of the wall, taking advantage of the gold minerals and the high yield gas geyser.
Not only a little bit more rich when it comes to gas, but also usually a lot safer.
Oh yeah, it is a more secure way to get this base up and running. The downside is, of course, this base and your main are quite isolated from each other. They're quite spread out, so Clem can be hyper-aggressive and try to pull his opponent apart. SCV Scout comes in, and Clem confirms the location of the natural.
We'll see how he's able to punish this, as already SHIN gonna be saturating that rich Vespine gas.
Yeah, Roach Warren's on the way, so it's gonna be a Roach Rush for SHIN, which does make plenty of sense. Oh, this round! Oh! Good.
Not quite able to get on top of these Reapers, but the Queen pops up just in time to barely not kill it.
Yeah, one more shot is all that Queen needs, but alas, the Reaper will get away, will escape, and behind this, Clem is double expanding. That is a third CC before Starport. Clem is not going to be doubling down to like an all-in or anything, any kind of crazy aggression, is working towards a longer macro game.
Yeah. It's SHIN who's working towards a shorter game and the rush.
Oh yeah, and so far unscattered. I mean, Clem has spotted the high yield gas geyser, so it has to be something gas intensive. Like roaches are definitely something that I'm sure Clem is thinking of, but he has no confirmation yet.
Yeah, it's definitely at the back of his mind, I have to imagine, but like you said, no confirmation, so he is just playing out a pretty typical Terran opening.
Yeah, so far so good. That is actually going to be a second Rax before the Starport. That will mean that there will be no Banshees with this.
Yeah, that's definitely a pretty big risk here. He does have to react on the factory, so he could switch into Cyclones after these couple of Hellions, but it's not as foolproof, right? It's not as foolproof as Banshees are.
Yeah, definitely. As the Hellions they get into the middle and points are being pulled, drones are going to get roasted, but at the same time, SHIN is moving out across the map, and his goal here is to straight up kill Clem.
Yeah, a couple of Cyclones out on the way, but like you said, no Banshees are out. These Cyclones are still on the way, and it's still going to take them quite a while to come out and really be effective in that time. Still a lot of damage that SHIN can get done. As long as Clem lives, he's going to be in a good position.
Yeah, the Divas are going to fall at the same time. The Stim is under fire as well. The Cyclones are about to pop out. The boys are being pulled. And with these Cyclones, can we clean up the Ravagers?
Yeah, it should be enough, but one Cyclone already falls. The other Cyclone in a lot of trouble. A lot of SCVs starting to get taken down. Once again, Clem has 3 CCs.
He wants it. He wants a Cyclone.
Yeah, he can remake all of his workers, but he just needs to live.
Oh my god, he gets a full surround of the Cyclone. He will repair, he will top it up. The Ravagers and Roaches are being cleaned up, and Clem, he will hold, he will shut this down. But he lost so much in the process. Clem now down in workers, and the tech lab was sniped. Stim was denied.
Yeah, losing 14 workers like this, not the end of the world when you have 3 orbital commands, you know, mules, and your ability to remake these SCVs definitely help a ton, but like you said, the tech was super delayed. And not just that, but Clem now doesn't have map control.
Exactly. Clem is stuck at home, and Clem doesn't really have a secure way to punish his opponent. That means Shin, in the aftermath of the all-in, can drone. Can drone up, is now taking his third. Shin's third base is very late. I will say that. This hatchery is still not even halfway done, so Shin doesn't have the biggest advantage, but does have at least, you know, breathing room here to stabilize.
He doesn't have the biggest advantage, but he has an advantage.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you have the advantage, you're making sure that your opponent has a disadvantage.
You know, when you have the advantage, your opponent does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And you know what it means when you have an advantage? It means you don't have a disadvantage.
Yeah. Good God. We need to bring back the sportscaster, yeah. Shaking my head. I still remember, I think you and Steelmo went on like a full like 5-minute rant doing that.
Almost as long as the entire game, because it wasn't all in that game. Yeah, you can win games or you can lose games.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure there's a clip out there. I'm sure there's a clip.
Seal made a folder of the classic clips recently.
I'm losing brain cells thinking about it.
Yeah.
God.
You know what they say, when you lose brain cells, you don't have your cells in your brain anymore.
Yeah, you don't have them. True.
Yeah. When you lose them, you better go find them.
Stupid. So we are going to be joining up, going to be satching our bases.
It's true.
Those who don't know what happened, this was a couple of years ago. There was a cast that involved nothing but that. It was nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
Well, more nonsense than usual.
It's true, more than usual. As for now, we are going to be just settling down, droning on up, taking our 4th hatchery as well. Again, Shin has bought a lot of map control, has bought a lot of breathing room, is slowly taking a further and further lead here, and Shin is not droning. He droned up to 55. That is true. That is just in a 3-way saturation, and Shin is focusing on the second wave on another push of Roach Ravager.
That's 90 army supply worth of Roaches and Ravagers, and sure, it's not the most resource efficient or supply efficient unit composition, but when your Terran opponent only has bio and is less than half supply, this is still enough.
Exactly. As the bunker goes down, there's a tank on the high ground where there are plenty of Ravagers, and the tank is going to be piled down as well. The boys are being pulled, but there's barely an army standing here for Clem. And the world champion himself, he was already down in the series, and is he going to be 2-0 here in the semifinals? Shin is popping up.
GG is called. Shin is going to 2-0 our reigning world champion. GG.
GG. Yeah, GG, well played, Shin. Going for a build that is quite common and quite popular on a Dynasty in this matchup, going for the Roach Rush, and it is designed to punish something that Clem went for. If you recall, Clem went for a 3cc 2-on-1. That means limited factory production, that means limited starport and Banshee production as well. Clem was caught with his pants down. That pants, they were down, papi. And Shin took advantage of it.
Fully. Wow. Yeah, I'm speechless once again. This really did look like a match of brain beating brawn in a sense, right? Because you can kind of see it a little bit when Clem had his Cyclones out, when he had his units out, he was microing very, very well. You know, mechanically speaking, he was looking pretty solid, getting a clutch save right at the end there with his Cyclone, but he just never had any vision or any proper knowledge of what was coming his way. And Shin took full advantage of that, completely blindsiding him.
Exactly. You doubt Shin playing on Dynasty and DVT? I still do, but regardless, GG, well played. It does work out quite well. Was able to mind game and catch Clem off guard.